Home. Home can be defined as the social unit formed by a family living together. Such a simple definition, but yet so complex in meaning. Home is where our story begins. Some see it as a place of love, hope, dreams, and comfort. However, for many kids, it is a center of conflict, uncertainty, and tension. Together, we can create a safe and positive home environment for Ohio's most vulnerable citizens.
So in 2017, we decided that we wanted to start a family, we wanted to have our own kids, and we learned over the course of the next year or two that biological children was not in the cards for us. You know, our goal was to have a family, and so we kind of searched within ourselves a little bit and searched within the community for where we could find that.
As that year progressed, we found ourselves really more and more drawn to the idea of fostering, because we realized that if we adopted a child, we would be parents to that one child, whereas if we fostered, we could really be parents to an unlimited number of children. As we thought about that and we realized that this could really create a family that was larger than we ever imagined, it really became an exciting thing to explore.
For myself, I wanted a family, and so I can relate to these children who just need a family to love and to take care of them. You know, they need adults in their lives that they can depend on and trust, and we figured out that we could be that.
With fostering, our goal is to help reunify the child with their biological parents. But that doesn't mean that we can't also be a parent for the child. So for the time that they're with us, we want to give them that support, that love, and the care that they need. And our goal is to always be there for them, even after they're reunified with their parents.
Yeah, and I will admit, in the beginning, it was a little overwhelming to think of the training process. But as soon as we started and just kind of dove in and started with the trainings and started asking questions, it happened very naturally and was an easy process to work through.
It's just really learning about the different type of situations you might find yourself in as a foster care parent and how to best address those situations. So today's our big meeting with Sharon. Amy and I will really learn a lot about becoming foster care parents today. We hope to get our questions answered. We can talk a little bit about the concerns that we might be having. Look forward to a great meeting and a chance to really understand the next steps involved with becoming a foster care parent.
Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. We're going to go in here. Okay, why don't you guys have a seat right here?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here, come on. So how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Awesome, awesome.
good.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in today, Amy and Jason. So you guys are interested in becoming foster parents? Hey, tell me a little bit, like what questions you might have about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to process right now. We've been thinking about the whole thing. We'd like to get a family, and well, I mean, I think that it's just understanding the process in general. It seems like there's a lot to it. I don't know what all is involved in becoming a foster parent. Can you go into some more detail, I think, about the training? Like, what is involved with that? How long is it?
Each of the sessions is going to be 2 to 3 hours, and depending on how you take the classes, you'll have instructor-led classes. There'll be 4 of those, and then there's also classes that you can take at your leisure. They're called foster parent college courses. So those are the courses, and there's 13 of them, which may include also first aid and CPR courses, because we want to make sure with any kids that are placed in your home that you'll be able to adequately take care of those kids.
Is there, do we have to pay to take the courses? Is there any cost that we have to plan
No,
for?
there's no cost for taking any of the classes. There's no cost with this process at all through our agency. The only thing that may come up as a cost is if you guys have to pay for your physicals, through your insurance or something like that. But there's no cost for this to provide services through this agency.
Like as far as like ages of children or
Ages, number of
situation,
children, the situation that they're coming from. Like I don't know if I can, like what if I'm not able to help them with whatever needs they may have?
Well, each situation is going to be different, and like you, we don't know what kind of call or concern that we're going to get because we get a ton of calls each day, and we don't know which calls are going to resort into a removal. But when we do get that phone call, we'll tell you as much information as we have on those kids. So it's a matter of you just telling us what your comfort level is and what you would be willing to do. There's an opportunity to talk with the parents. There's an opportunity to meet with the parents. So it's a cooperative effort for everybody to bring the family back together again. So that's why we focus so much on reunification, because that's always going to be our first goal. So no matter what goes on, we have to make sure that we're all trying to work cooperatively together. Fostering is a big family. Just because the kids leave and go home doesn't mean that they ever leave your heart. They don't ever leave your mind.
Awesome.
Is there a list of things that we need to make sure that we do, or is there anyone who can kind of guide us through this to make sure we do everything we're supposed to do?
Yeah, in your application package, you'll see there's a checklist of all the items that you'll need to have, as part of that process too. And then also we'll talk with you about when we come to your home inspection, we'll give you information of things that we're looking for. So, just making sure like basic things like you have a fire extinguisher, your smoke detectors have batteries. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking for.
Awesome.
Do you have any other questions or anything that I can answer for you guys?
I know that I'm going to have a ton of questions come up along the way. Right now it's just a lot for me to kind of take in, and I'm really excited about it, and I know that this is what we want. We want so much to be able to help children. We want to build our family, and I think we're just kind of anxious to get started and get into it.
I would say the Medina County Job and Family Services have been fantastic partners throughout this whole process. We've worked extensively with Sharon Holmes, who has really become a close friend in all of this. She's very knowledgeable, and she's been there to answer every single question that we've had, help alleviate the concerns that we have, and to help us feel confident with the decisions that we're making here. I think the best part about it is every single one of them have the best interest of the child in mind, and that's really the most important thing here.
Anytime that I've reached out to Sharon or Trisha, anybody up there, they've been quick with an answer, as honest as they could be, as helpful as they could be, and they've really helped us through it.
Welcome to Medina County Job and Family Services. What we're doing tonight is we're having our foster parent panel. So these are foster parents that are already licensed with us, and we have new families that are going to ask questions of the panel. So feel free to answer as you need to. Hopefully you guys have some good questions for them tonight.
I guess one question I have starting off is, can you talk a little bit about how you integrate the children into your everyday life? What does that look like? How does it change your lives?
At least for us, our whole life gets turned upside down when a placement comes home, and we change everything in order to make sure the kids feel comfortable and that we're meeting their needs. And then as we get more used to them being there, then we can get back to more of our usual routine.
So I think we learned that we put too many expectations on ourselves. So relax and kind of go with the flow and know that it doesn't have to be perfect for you or the kids, and that as long as you're meeting their basic needs, you're going to be okay.
So I wanted to ask, the trainings that we've watched, some of them were very difficult to see and a little scary. And I will say, thinking about the placements that we might get, I'm a little nervous and scared about the needs that might come into our home and how we can help them, and are we prepared? Can you speak to that at all, or any advice that you could give?
think the training is great, but I don't think there's any amount of training that can prepare you for every kid that might come into your home. So I think you just learn to ask good questions and nag people. You're calling pediatricians and therapists and working with the caseworker and the foster care coordinator, and you do an awesome job of making recommendations and suggestions and helping you get resources that you need. So I think it's just kind of a learning experience every time.
And there might be times where you feel like you're doing everything in your power and nothing changes with the child, and that's just the way it is.
We had an opportunity to help change the world one kid at a time by showing love. I couldn't do anything about some of the things going on in the world, but we can control this and we can help one kid or 3 kids at a time.
My why was, I was a single parent. I decided I wanted a family. I did not have one currently. I didn't really know what the whole foster was about. I thought about internationally adopting, and then somebody invited me to one of the foster parent trainings, and I went and started really finding out about it, and I decided that that was the route that I wanted to go. They had the foster, then they have the foster to adopt, and was 3 or 4 years in, adopted 3 children.
Would you say that you were both equally as passionate when you were first talking about going through this process or making the decision to do it?
For us, I think I was definitely the more passionate one. I think once I got my mind set on it, I was ready to go and I was all in. But I think it's pretty common in relationships that he's the practical one and he tends to think about the day-to-day details and how's this actually going to work in our family and what about this and what about that? And I'm like, we're good, let's just do it, we'll figure it out. So I think that's pretty common in relationships to have one person who's a little more idealistic and one who might be a little more practical. But just, talking through it a lot and then just kind of going through step by step and continuing to talk at every part of the process. Okay, we have to let Alex.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. Thank you all, seriously.
Thank you. No, thank you guys, seriously.
When you look at the traditional model of a family unit, you've got your mother and the father and the biological children. But for us, as we talked through our goals, we realized that there were so many other people that we were considering family in our life, whether it was extended blood relatives or best friends or neighbors. They're all people that we consider part of our family. And so when you start thinking about family from that perspective, you can see how easy it is to look at these children and say, yes, they are part of your family, even without the adoptive process. Once we made that realization and redefined family, that was a big thing for us. So foster care parents are gonna look different in every scenario. They're gonna come from different ethnic backgrounds. They're gonna come from different economic backgrounds.
Single parents, non-traditional families, so many different diverse families.
A very important goal of Job and Family Services is making sure that there's a family there that a child can easily fit into the home. And so the more families we have from these different representative backgrounds, the more availability there will be for a placement for these children.
Every couple and every family is different. And I'm sure everyone has a different reason for choosing this path. In the end, we are all contributing toward this great positive change for our community.
We don't expect them to share the same story as us, but what I do hope is that we all share the same mission in common, which is the best interest of the child.